Find the biggest voices in sports on the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Like me, James Gray from the Tennis Unfiltered podcast, bringing you all things tennis as Wimbledon comes around once again. And what a Wimbledon it promises to be. Can Jannik Sinner survive a London heatwave? Will Novak Djokovic win number 25? And Serena Williams is back again. Yes, really. We'll be live on the ground for SW19 to talk about all the strawberries, the cream, and more. Search Tennis Unfiltered and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
Sports Social Podcast Network, the biggest voices in sport. Let's take a look at some of the lineup. Fantasy Football Scout.
I've got a triple up on Arsenal. I've also got a triple up on Manchester City.
The Chronicles of a Gooner.
I've been really impressed with Morgan Rogers this season. I think he deserves the elevated status within the England camp.
The Wild Ones Cycling Podcast.
Cycling can reduce anxiety and depression and sharpen cognitive function.
All on Europe's biggest sport podcast network. Find your next favourite sport podcast. Search Sports Social Podcast Network and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
Verified comparison at content.sport-social.co.uk/comparison.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody in between, welcome to another episode of Tuned Into Tennis. I'm your host, Myles David. We are tuned in, tapped in, and turned all the way up at Wimbledon. Back with another episode. It's been a couple days since I last spoke to you, and all of the tennis at SW19 has really not waited for us to catch our breath. I don't do too much small talking on my intros anymore, especially during a Grand Slam, because it's just so much tennis happening thick and fast. We have world number ones going out. We have wild cards breaking into the top 100 and getting their first quarterfinal spots at Wimbledon. We have Venus and Serena playing doubles and not playing doubles. We got a whole bunch to unpack. And I keep saying we, because I can't do this alone. I am hot as the rest of the world is in the heat wave in America and beyond. So I FaceTimed one of my friends across the pond. Y'all know him. Y'all have missed him, the man who talks grass court tennis and plays on it because he's across the pond in good old London. I think he invented a lawnmower himself. He did something special because we share a name. And I'm speaking of Mr. Myles Anthony Daly. Welcome back to the pod, my friend. How are you?
I am, if I'm allowed to swear, I'm kind of peed off right now, but it's okay. Let's go ahead. I'm real.
You want to start the conversation? I mean, you know what? Heat will make you pissed off, and I am sitting here in this studio pissed. I know you don't have AC over there in London. Right. You're hot and pissed.
Listen, when we spoke, I said to you, yeah, we're probably going to do this pod like maybe an hour and a half ago, thinking, all right, Felix going to lose in 4 sets. Mm-hmm. I was wrong. I owe him a mini apology.
You owe who an apology?
Felix.
Okay.
But to lose in 5?
Over 5 hours.
Listen, I know Novak is arguably the greatest of all time, but how old is he now?
39? 8? 9.
I don't know if as a 25-year-old I would want to be losing after 5 hours in a final set tiebreak to somebody who's been playing for about 10 plus years longer than me. I don't know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Either way, I'm upset.
We're going there, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, just a few minutes ago, which is 17 minutes past 11 in London time, 17 minutes past 5, where I am in New Orleans, Novak Djokovic was pushed to 5 sets by Felix Auger-Aliassime before the 7-time Wimbledon champion prevailed 7-6, 3-6, 6-3, 6-7, 7-6 in a 5-set 10-point tiebreaker after more than 5 hours on Tuesday evening, and he is through to the semifinals where he will face defending champion Jannik Sinner. So this is what we are immediately reacting to because that literally just happened. And I think you can tell by a couple different things that me and Myles, or Myles squared, are not happy to be on the losing end of that match as fans of Felix Auger-Aliassime, because I feel like it highlights, and the more I watch that match, it highlights just how much of a frustrating experience it is to be a fan of Felix Auger-Aliassime, and how frustrating it is to have been watching tennis over the past 20 years as Novak Djokovic has pretty much taken apart every single person who has come his way. And he did the same thing today. I mean, how many times, I tweeted this like mere minutes ago, how many times has Djokovic been across the court from a big server with a shaky backhand, and all he does is just lock in, don't miss, especially when it's in the most crucial part of the match, i.e. a fifth set tiebreaker. Do not miss and allow that guy to self-destruct on the other side of the net. And that's exactly what Felix Auger-Aliassime did. Exactly.
And I feel like my earliest memory of Djokovic was him playing against Gauff, and I want to say it was at the US Open like years ago. Mm-hmm. And he did the same thing. And I don't understand why I'm still experiencing these emotions, but I mean, okay, it's cool. I mean, listen, I feel like for Felix losing, I don't know if this is a better or loss worse than the French. I hope that he feels better about it. Mm. But either way, as a Felix fan and as someone who's very aware that Carlos Alcaraz is not playing right now, like if we have someone like Caboli, who I'm sure we'll talk about, who is maximizing the opportunities that are put in front of him right now, I'm like, yo, Felix, I don't know if we're gonna get another chance, my boy.
As a 3 seed at that.
Anyway.
A three seed facing a 39-year-old who has already dropped sets in the tournament, has already said that he doesn't really have the same energy reserve that he used to. Right. He's openly admitting this stuff. Now, Djokovic is literally a joker. He can lie, right. Or fib or tell less than 100% of the truth. So who knows how he's really feeling 100%, even from his own mouth, right? But this was an opportunity, especially with their roof closed. And if you know Felix Auger-Aliassime, you know he plays his best tennis when a roof is over top of him. Mm-hmm. It's one thing, and it's a good thing to be able to push one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time, to 5 hours, 5 sets. But it's not great when you consider the entire picture of where Djokovic is in his career, how vulnerable he has been. He's not won a whole bunch of matches this year. Yes, he made the Australian Open final, but besides that, since then, his season has been shaky, to say the least, for his standards at minimum. And to leave another Grand Slam quarterfinal not the victor, I think this one's going to be tougher to swallow. Yeah, you can say you lost to Djokovic on center court, who hasn't, but he had his opportunities, and in major moments of that match, he was so passive. I mean, he was hitting backhand slices that had no slice on them.
Slicing. I'm like, I don't know him to slice this much. I know we don't trust that backhand, but I don't know him to slice that much.
He needs to go to the school of Ash Barty.
Watching Berrettini, like, okay, Anyway,
Ash Barty could teach him a thing or two about how to knife that, because I don't think it's a bad plan to do it against Djokovic. He just gave Djokovic the same ball over and over again. Yes, he had over 20-something aces, but honestly, when is that phase Novak Djokovic in big matches? Big servers are what he eats for lunch, and he ate him up for lunch. Yeah, it was an extended loss, but a loss nonetheless. And I don't know. Did you see that clip of Felix speaking about the whole Davidovich-Fokina injury timeout thing? There is an intensity that I saw in that press conference, and have kind of seen in his matches a little bit, that I don't see, and I did not see this evening against Novak Djokovic. Like, he tried, but it felt like he was trying instead of believing in himself that he was the big dog. It's something in his eyes. And I don't know if there is somebody or like another coach, something out there that can kind of get in there and tap into something, or if that's just how he's always going to be. Because it is nice that he is a very affable, like, well-spoken, say it like you mean it kind of guy that doesn't really have too many enemies. But this might be others. There's a reason Serena is the Serena she is. Because yes, I think she's perfectly fine as a sportswoman. enough. But at the end of the day, you have to realize that in this particular sport, it is mano a mano. And if you want your hands on the trophy, if you want to go to the next round, you got to put all of that ambassador of the world stuff to the side in that moment. And I don't know if Felix does that the best. He kind of has news anchor vibes when it's not time to be a news anchor.
I think sometimes he's very like, he places quite a lot of importance on being like a gentleman, and doing things the right way. And I'm like, I would just love for you to like lose your shit. I'd love for you to get in Djokovic's face a little bit and like,
because he does. Djokovic does.
Thank you. Djokovic will find a fly and be like, yeah, I don't like that fly right now, and use that as his motivation to win a match. I'm just like, and listen, I don't agree with what Davidovich Fokina did in the last round. I really don't, but I do understand that he was doing what he felt like he needed to do to give
win the
himself
match,
the opportunity to win. And I feel like Felix, anyway.
He doesn't necessarily wring every bit out of the towel that he can. And going back to what I said about if there's somebody that can kind of come in to help unlevel some of that may be kind of just, sitting untouched. We haven't seen him make a coaching change since that tiny spot he had with Tony Nadal. He's been with the same coach basically, and he said as much for basically a decade plus since he was a junior. And it's like, again, that is commendable. That's commendable to a point. But what are you leaving on the table by not tinkering with some things and trying something different? And
I think also Felix is 25 now. I think
he's going to be 26. Yeah, in August.
Right. He feels older because he's been on the tour for so long.
Yeah.
But he's been on the tour for so long, and you're 25. And I think if I were 25 and I was like, okay, cool, I was expecting to have won a Grand Slam by now, and my best has been quarters and a couple of semis, I'd be thinking, okay, what are the changes that I need to make? What are the things that I need to do, the little like small 1% change that would get me to win that 10-point tiebreak, to get me into the semi-final against somebody who might not deal with the heat very well. Who knows what can happen,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's as a fan of his, I'm going to be very intrigued to see what happens between the ages of 26 and 28, 29. Whether he does make any changes, whether he does have that later, I don't call it too late, but surge, that post-25 surge in career resurgence, because I think it is very possible. A few years ago, would we have even been sat here thinking he would be in a position to win a slam? Maybe not, because he was ranked quite low at a point. So for him to even be the third seed or wherever he is and have opportunities to be in slam semifinals consistently, I think it represents a step forward, but it's very, very, I want to argue it's probably the most frustrating tennis player for me to be a fan of right now is probably Felix Auger-Aliassime. More so than your Francis, more so than a few people will talk about later. I feel like Felix is probably the most frustrating for me, but hey.
It's a lot to digest, people, and you're getting our real reactions mere minutes after that match. So Djokovic moves on.
I'm sorry, I'm still pissed.
Yes.
And I feel like maybe it's because it's Djokovic too. But anyway.
Yes, no. It is, for me. It is Djokovic. If it was somebody else that was in the same ilk of Felix Auger-Aliassime that had been, waiting for this opportunity where there's not Sinner and Alcaraz to go through the draw, it would be kind of easier to digest. But Djokovic, credit to him for literally being one of the best men ever to pick up a racket. The plot is stale. Like, I get it. I don't I can't hide it. It's not easy for me to root for him. It hasn't been easy for me to root for him in years, and it's not getting any easier. Yes, I'm completely aware of how littered his resume is. It is impeccable. It is great. There are people that are not going to ever touch some of the stuff that he's touched in his career. But when it comes down to an entertaining, likable, I want to sign up and travel the world or pay thousands of dollars to be able to have access to watch these matches, because that's what it costs now these days. He's not the guy at the top of the list. But his tennis has made him the guy at the top of the list. Yeah. So you can debate back and forth if you're watching this or listening back to this on if I'm right or wrong. It's just my opinion. He's not that guy to me, but the numbers, his achievements have made him that guy. And that's a sour grape to bite, but it is what it is. Like, he's never going to be not talked about. But when it's time to end it all and, look at your career from the past, have you seen some of the cuts of Roger Federer coming to Wimbledon this past couple of days? It's not going to be like that. It's not going to hit the same way. Sorry. Like, there's going to be people that revere him and clap for him, but there's just a certain je ne sais quoi to when Roger Federer comes back to Wimbledon, Rafa comes back to Roland Garros, obviously when Serena hits back on the scene, and we'll touch on her later in the show. There's just there's a sense of, in the circles that we're in our personal opinion, there's a sense of, dang, I'm so grateful that I got a chance to watch this athlete and root for this athlete. And Novak Djokovic hasn't quite, and probably won't ever get there due to a litany of things that we won't get into today. Yeah. He's just not that guy. Great tennis player, one of literally hell of an achiever, just not the guy you sit and reminisce over a beer about. He's just not that guy. But everybody can't have that kind of je ne sais quoi aura. But it is what it is. He's into the semis. To wrap up this little section, how do you think he fares against Jannik Sinner in the semifinals?
I don't think he fares against Jannik Sinner.
Yeah, I know. I don't think he fares, but
I don't think he fares after playing 5 and Jannik won in straight. I don't think he fares, and I think it's a shame because you want your semifinals to feel balanced, or as balanced as they can be in the Sinner Alcaraz era. I was sitting here trying to figure out whether I would prefer a 25-year-old, maybe fresher-legged Felix who hasn't made the leap to a final yet, or whether I would want to see Djokovic, obviously with his career, play against Sinner in the semis. I think the answer is either way. It's going to be a tough ask for either of them. And obviously Djokovic is the one who's got the job to do now. I don't think it does fare too well for him. But if Djokovic is to win another Grand Slam, I think it happens at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And I think if he is to catch Sinner on an off day, I think it does happen on grass.
Yeah, I agree.
So if it is going to happen, it happens here. But I just don't know if it happens after playing 5 sets and a final set tiebreaker too. I don't know.
5-hour match, 5 sets. He had all kind of energy to wiggle and dance at the end of the match. But
this was the longest match of the tournament, hey?
You said what?
This was the longest match of the tournament so far?
I'm pretty sure, especially on center court. A lot of center court matches have either been cut by that damn curfew or just or not.
I know you are burning to talk about this curfew, hey?
That curfew isn't in and of itself the problem.
It's the scheduling is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's the scheduling around that curfew that makes it a bit annoying, which we'll get to in a second. But that's the Felix portion. Djokovic moves on into his 17,000 Wimbledon semi, and to face Jannik Sinner. Do we want to keep with the men? I think we should keep with the men and go with. Since we're talking about Jannik Sinner, his opponent won in pretty uneventful circumstances, which I feel like has been his entire thing this tournament, bar the whole bloody shoes situation at the first round against Kecmanovic and that whole slip, fall, the 5-setter. Ever since then, it hasn't necessarily been completely taking the racket out of every single opponent's hands, but hasn't dropped a set. Second round, Nuno Borges, straight sets. Third round, Jensen Brooksby, straight sets. Fourth round, Mochizuki of Japan, who had a great tournament, straight sets. And now quarterfinals, Jan-Lennard Struff, who's 35, 36, been around for a while. I think Jan-Lennard Struff qualified. If he didn't qualify, he obviously wasn't seeded.
And it was his first Grand Slam quarterfinal. So
his first Grand Slam quarterfinal. Yeah, major props to him for getting that far after having, a very workmanlike, hang your hat very respectfully type of career. But again, as far as Jannik Sinner is concerned, wasn't really pushed or in jeopardy at many points of that match. And he comes into the semifinals as obviously the world number one seed. I think he has a point to prove after how everything went at the French Open. But I got to be honest, like, I don't have, besides that Kecmanovic match, as a fan, I don't have that much info to go on besides those scores, because I just haven't seen him. Like, the tournament has gone around him, not really. I guess if you are locked in as a Sinner fan, obviously you might have a different perspective on this. But if you're a fan of other people and just kind of want the show of the tournament to be entertaining, it hasn't been led by Jannik Sinner. No. It hasn't.
But and it generally wouldn't be. I think it's been so interesting to see what the tour looks like without Carlos. And I think the whole Sinkeraz thing really only works because of Carlos. I don't know what to really make of Sinner right now. Obviously, he's playing great, and obviously he is a great tennis player. It's just not exciting for me to watch. I don't tune in the same way how I would tune in if it was Carlos, in the same way how no, not the German, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't tune in to Sinner. We'll talk about him. I don't tune into Sinner, and it's a shame, because I felt like after the French we had a little bit of a shuffle, and it was a welcome shuffle, an annoying shuffle in the end, but a welcome shuffle. And this is why I'm more frustrated with Felix, because now was the time, because there's so much opportunity for somebody else to do something. You know, we've been talking about Fonseca, we've been talking about Hodar, we're talking about Arthur Feast when he was healthy. Of all of these guys coming through and potentially doing something. And I'm like, yo, Felix, you're literally about to become a part of a lost generation. And we've seen a couple of those. But can you blame Sinner for doing Sinner things in the Sinner way when he's winning? I don't know.
He's good.
As a fan, it's not the most fun thing to watch. Yeah. But I mean, as far as I'm aware, it's going to continue to be as hot as hell over here. So we'll see. We'll see if he has a repeat of the French. I don't think he will, but
not this deep into the tournament with all of. Yes, he hasn't been tested, bar that first round match, but there is something to be said for how you get your legs underneath you and how sturdier they get throughout the tournament. And I feel like at this point, he's the guy to beat. Like on that bottom half of the draw, he owns pretty much everybody left. We'll get to him, but it's Sinner's tournament to lose, especially if he gets past Novak Djokovic. Like, if he gets past that semi and isn't really pushed because of Djokovic's inability to be, physically 100% there that day, which is, respectfully likely, it's Sinner's to win, and that'll make him a 2-time Wimbledon champion in a couple of days, which, the history books will like that. It'll be another notch in his belt, a defending champion, 2-time champion. I think that's just where we're headed. It'll be a little, it's not going to be whippy to me and a lot of people. It's not going to be whippy, remember where you were kind of stuff, unless there's a classic that's played. But just the bare bones, Jannik Sinner wins another Wimbledon title is not, get out of your seat stuff. But it is, it's almost kind of similar to Djokovic in a way. Like, we know you're good. We know you're good. And that is more than half the battle, to be an efficient and, a hard as hell tennis player to beat. But the entertainment value, the aura, all of the other stuff, the other intangibles that make sport make you feel like you're alive while you're watching it, and kind of get your heart racing and the up and down of it all. That's not his thing, but it can't be everybody's thing, similar to how it hasn't been Djokovic's thing throughout his career. So Sinner's look strong. He's the favorite. I think he's going to win the whole thing, and it's going to be kind of under the radar because, like I said, I mean, literally on paper, Kecmanovic, Borges, Brooksby, Mochizuki, and Jan-Lennard Struff, respectful to all of those men, that is a 250 draw. And if I want to be nice, it's a 500. And again, you play who's in front of you, so it's not his fault that he played those guys. But if you yes, if he lifts this trophy, you're going to say, yeah, Jannik Sinner is a 2-time Slam champion, especially if he goes past Djokovic, which he probably will to win it. Yeah. But those first 5 rounds is going to be like, it's a little light.
Again. And the thing is as well, because in the bottom half, we've had so many great matchups and interesting contrast of styles and stories and all that kind of stuff. I think maybe that's also why it feels a bit jarring and a bit like underwhelming with Sinner right now, in comparison to what we're seeing on the other side of the draw, for sure.
Well, I mean, if you are a fan of German tennis, I think you are the opposite of underwhelmed. Nope. Because we aren't. Well, I'm a fan of German tennis. You can be from wherever. It's just that German tennis player, Alexander Zverev, has been hard to root for. But he's in his first Wimbledon quarterfinal. Obviously, he's the reigning Roland Garros champion. This is the farthest he's ever gone at Wimbledon. His 4th round match, he was the last of the men to grab a quarterfinal spot to get to the 4th round. And he had to come back today, on Tuesday, after his match against Jiří Lehečka was suspended after going further than the 11 p.m. curfew. They're not supposed to go into that. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, he is through to the quarterfinals after defeating Jiří Lehečka. What was the final score? Let's see if I can find it here.
7-6 in the 4th.
7-6 in the 4th. Thank you, my friend. You mentioned contrast of style just a second ago. I thought that was going to be a match. I mean, obviously, Zverev is the favorite on paper as a reigning Grand Slam champion, the higher seed, way more Grand Slam experience than Jiří Lehečka. But Jiří Lehečka, I think, has legitimate firepower, and he displayed it relatively well to get that set, especially after having to sleep on it the way he did. But the very lull you to sleep, side to side, baseline lockdown mode of Zverev is not entertaining, and I always am a little confused when it works on grass, and it's been working. He's got to the quarterfinals. His draw has been a little light, but again, you're a 2 seed. It's supposed to kind of make room for you to get there. Marcos Giron in the 3rd round, Lehečka in the 4th. Who did he play in the 1st and 2nd? Not a clue. Respectfully. But yeah. Zverev is a quarterfinalist, and now he faces, we're talking about the bottom half of the draw now, he faces one of his, friendlier-ish arch nemesis, Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz has owned him in the last 4 or 5 meetings. They just played in Halle a couple of weeks ago, and Fritz got the better of him, even after Zverev was, brimming with confidence after winning Roland Garros. So Zverev will have to come back the next day after not getting rest because of how that match played out, and face Fritz, which I think Fritz is
going to take him again. Fritz going to take him again. And listen, I've never been a Fritz fan. Of all the Americans, Fritz is probably one of my least. I'm in terms of just watching him, I don't find his game particularly interesting to my eye until he plays that man. So I'm I need you to do your big one, bro. I really do. I need him to just... I obviously wanted Francis to kind of make his way through this section. But if Fritz pulls off the win that I think he's going to get against my guy, then I'm happy. I also do feel like, and please hear me out, Fritz has a legitimate chance to win Wimbledon, for sure.
To make the final, absolutely.
Yeah, I think once he gets to the final, he could do it. There is a world in which Sinner and Djokovic do go 5, but a lot of things have to go his way, and I need him to beat Zverev in straight sets, and I need Kvoli to make things easy for him, if that is his semi-final opponent. But yeah, I don't see a world in which Fritz doesn't take it, because I just think he's kind of owned him. And I do feel like if we're talking about grass and styles, Fritz's game suits the grass, whereas Zverev's not necessarily in the same way.
I think Zverev is just that 2, 3, 4% more aggressive. and naturally aggressive minded. It's not like I'm saying Fritz is serving and volleying and coming to the net and just covering it like Navratilova old school. He's not that fluid at it, but his consistent pace off the ground and more than likely just incrementally ability to come forward is what Zverev doesn't like to see, because they almost mirror each other. Like head rackets, power from the baseline, kind of, sort of prefer their backhands over their forehands, but I do think Fritz's forehand does more damage, and I think that is the very small margin kind of thing that sets up why that matchup has looked the way it has. And when you start losing to a player one time or two times in a row, three times in a row, four times in a row, especially on big stages, it gets in your head. And yes, I know Zverev is a Grand Slam champion now, but respectfully, things in his head have not been on his side. Like his mentality is part of the reason why it took him so long to get to that Grand Slam title. And it's not like he won that Grand Slam title by necessarily doing anything massively different. The draw fell the way it fell. He played an inexperienced player as far as Caboli in the final, and he did the same side-to-side thing that he always does and doesn't miss. If he does that and brings that to the court against Fritz, the way Fritz feels on grass, did you see Fritz pump his chest and be like, I'm that guy? I guess. It's cool. Does Fritz have cut through across the pond in London? No. No one's like, go Fritz?
No one. Oh. No. I think also because he's not with his ex-girlfriend anymore, right? I think he was a lot more visible.
What is her name?
I can see her face, but I don't know her name.
Sorry.
Yeah, Taylor Fritz is not
Molly.
No,
it's not Molly. Let me quickly Google, because they're going to
take the name out and say, what does she look like? She look like a Molly?
Taylor Fritz. Morgan. I knew it was something with the M. Morgan, not Molly. Morgan. Respectful, Morgan. She's been talking about it. Not necessarily like the ins and outs of the breakup, but like how it feels to go from top tier athlete to, doing stuff on her own. And I also think that's kind of in the back of his mind too. Like, I want to show that I don't like girlfriend or no girlfriend. I'm still that guy, like he says.
Yeah.
All right, Fritzy.
But he really beat Bublik a lot easier than I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to win. But it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, for sure. Which suggests that he's in good form. Because didn't he miss a little bit earlier in the season with
he missed
injury?
He missed the entire clay court swing except Geneva the week before Roland Garros, and he lost. I think he won a match in Geneva, lost the next match, and then lost first round Roland Garros. So like basically all of April and May, he didn't play.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I've been listening to some of his press conferences, and he does not like to not play. He wants to be out there. Yes, it's demanding. He realizes how annoying it can be to go from like plane to bus, next bus, plane, and do the whole monotonous thing. But I think that's what he feels like that's his advantage over the rest of the tour, is being able to kind of sustain that. And even when he pulled out of Eastbourne, after making back-to-back finals in Stuttgart and Halle, he didn't want to do that. But his team convinced him that if you want to go forward at Wimbledon, playing 3 weeks in a row on grass, you might feel the ball the most you've ever felt, or like felt connected to the grass as if you are a blade of grass yourself. But your body is going to pay your body's going to pay the price if you end up making it to the final weekend. You only have so many reserves, and I appreciate his transparency and kind of walking us through that. And I appreciate his team for being like, listen, I know you're like a 3 or 4 time Eastbourne champ, but don't you want to be a Wimbledon champ even more, respectfully?
Yeah.
So we'll see. This is like you said, I'm not necessarily Fritz's number one fan. It can be his matches can err on the side of background noise really easy for me. But if there's an opportunity for an American man to get that monkey off their back, it's here, and he's already made a final.
It's really now. I do think that when you watch Fritz, a little bit similarly to Felix, you can see the holes in the game. I think obviously Fritz, he's maximized his ability athletically.
He's bringing the towel out for sure.
And I'm like, I also don't. He's not the best volleyer in the world, but he does a few things very well. Yeah, I think if it's gonna happen for him, it's gonna happen now. Will it happen though?
Speaking of will it happen, do you think the All England Club will ever budge on their scheduling? Not necessarily the curfew at 11 p.m. because I think it's fine to have a curfew where tennis stops, because playing tennis after midnight, we've seen at the U.S. Open how that just doesn't help anybody involved. But starting play at 1:30, and that's not even exactly 1:30 when they hit the first ball, but starting play at 1:30 or 1 o'clock and having an 11 p.m. curfew and putting 2 best-of-5 matches on there, plus factoring in the 15 or 20 minutes that you have to have the discussion on when you want to close the roof and 15 minutes for the actual roof to close, you're just kind of playing with logistical fire every step of the way. And there's been a couple of moments. Obviously, Zverev versus Lehechka having to go the next day is the biggest kind of red flag in there. But even Coco's match against Belinda Bencic being 2 minutes away from the 11 p.m. curfew and narrowly finishing that match. At what point do the powers that be kind of look at how tennis is trending? Matches are getting longer, points are getting longer, everything is getting longer, but you're putting the window to display and play all of this in the shortest Grand Slam window possible. None of the other Grand Slams have start times for at 1:30 and 1 o'clock p.m., you know?
I would also love to know what the reasoning is, because it's not as if to say
it's lunch.
Typically,
it's lunch. I'm telling you, the stakeholders, the very important people, they have stuff. Lunch and brunch and all of that stuff, and but that's the main thing, is to make sure the big wigs feel comfortable before the first match goes on. But then what they'll say is, oh, we want to have undivided attention for the outer courts before center court gets underway. If I have a ticket for center court, I'm going to be able to get I'm going to go to center court first of all, but I'm also, like, after that match is done, I'm going to go to the grounds pass and get my fix of that if I want to, because obviously there's probably going to be something for me to watch, i.e. doubles, mixed doubles, wheelchair, Legends Invitational, something. I just don't, it doesn't quite make sense why they are, outside of tradition, because, you know, tennis loves tradition, and so does the LTA. That 1:30 start is that 1:30 start is going to continuously nip them in the butt if the trend of tennis continues the way it is. Matches are getting longer. We just saw a 5-hour match. So, like,
and you let's also factor in that this has been by far the best weather that we've ever had during Wimbledon. There's been no rain delay.
Yeah.
So if we factored in rain delays, it would be crazy. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon, because, like you said, tennis is obsessed with tradition, and Wimbledon specifically is obsessed with tradition. I don't think it's going to change. I think it definitely should change. Even 11:30 sounds good to me.
12.
12, come on. You know, we could do a little lunch.
Yeah.
Because the way that some of these ladies matches be going, like, with these, like, bagel sets, I'm sure you can get a match done within an hour and 10. So I don't think it's going to change. I think it's a shame. I think that the curfew is also not going to change, because
it's a residential thing.
It's very residential, like, extremely. And the transport links there is not the best in terms of, if it was past a certain time, how would people get home? I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But knowing that, then push it forward.
Yeah, if you know that there's a hard stop for you and you get fined every minute or something after that, why would you risk it to not get your matches finished? Granted, it doesn't happen every single day that matches have to get pulled over or put over to the next day. It does happen early on in the tournament for those outside courts, because they even have a smaller time frame, because by 9:30, it's hard to see the ball, and they have to carry over because of darkness, because there's no lights, which again ties into the whole residential thing. They can't have lights on those outside courts, and they have to be end of play by 11 p.m. So there's tricky logistic things to work around, you would think that they would have noticed this by now and be like, well, how about we just start play at 11:30 like every other Grand Slam that starts play at 11 a.m. Unless you're deep into the tournament and there's only 4 or 5, 6 players left, then I can understand why you don't want to start at 11 o'clock because, you want your product to kind of be in a time spot where more people can come. I do understand that, but you got to look at the trends of how things are going. And on top of that, center court only schedules 3 matches. The other big courts usually do 4. If you can't finish 3 matches, you got a problem on your hands. You got to look at what's going on.
The surface plays a little bit slower than it used to. So the matches and the rallies that I remember when I was a young lad, when I was taking when I was being coached when I was a kid, and I remember my coach is saying to me that the average shot rally length on a grass court was like between 3 and 5. And I'm watching some of these points out here, and I'm like, I'm seeing people being lobbed, drop shotted, and we're going over here left and right, and I'm like, I know this isn't clay because it's green, but it doesn't feel too dissimilar. So I think the All England club needs to make some changes.
You heard it, All England club. You heard it first.
I think so. I mean, they do make changes, but in their own time. I know also you're dying to know about the cultural impact that Arthur Ferry's having on this country right now, hey?
Please tell me. I don't know. Listen, before we switch over to the women, we should talk about Arthur Ferry's magnificent run because he will be facing Flavio Cobolli in the quarterfinals. He's a wild card, Arthur Ferry. He needed a wild card. He didn't get in the tournament. The LTA is stingy with those, but he gave it to a Brit, obviously. And Arthur Ferry, I kid you not, before a couple of days ago, one, I didn't even know that his last name was only 1 R and not 2. So I had to correct that the other day. And then also, he could have walked past me and I would have not known a thing. Sorry to that man. But now that I do know what he looks like, he has a hell of a game. It's just that he now plays Flavio Cobolli, who he has beaten this year at a Grand Slam in Australia. But there's a tiny asterisk behind it because Flavio Cobolli had stomach issues, a.k.a. the runs, a.k.a. diarrhea. So that'll be interesting.
Cobolli, man. I do
like Flavio.
I like. There's something about Cobolli I like. I wish I would have liked him even more if he took home that Roland Garros victory. But anyway, I like him. I think Arthur Ferry. That's it.
That's what you got?
Listen, Berrettini in that quarterfinal would have been so good. It just would have been. Sorry, I meant Dimitrov. Sorry, Dimitrov being in there would have been so good. Considering how things have been for him recently, it would have been nice to see him. I don't know how many more times we're going to see him where he's going to have like viable chances to be in the second week. But Arthur Ferry did what he had to do. He was really down and very much almost
2 sets to 1 in that quarterfinal.
He really figured it out. I think that Cobolli in the last year and a bit has become a very reliable person to do what he needs to do when he needs to do it. And I don't want to give somebody like very little chance, but I don't really see a world in which Cobolli doesn't win that match. I think he's a little bit too solid. I don't think there's any holes in Cobolli's game that I can really think of. There isn't as many strengths as other players, but I don't see any holes for Ferry to kind of pick into a counterpunch. So, I mean, well done, Arthur Ferry. It's a shame as well that the World Cup is on because I feel like if the World Cup wasn't on, he would have more impact over here.
Would he?
I think so because we ain't got much to celebrate right now. Where's Emma?
Don't y'all have the guy, Jude Bellingham?
Where's Jack? Yeah, but what I'm saying is if the World Cup wasn't on, then we would celebrate Arthur Ferry more. I think because the World Cup is on and obviously, football, soccer, wherever you are, it's such a big sport over here. He's probably not having as big of a moment as he would have had if it wasn't such a big other sport going on. But yeah, he's going to have wild cards for the rest of his life, regardless of his rankings. So.
At Wimbledon, yeah. But he won't need him moving forward because I think when I checked, his live ranking is 60-something now, which is a career high, obviously. So,
we said this about Lois Bosson. And things kind of didn't work out the way that we thought they were going to work out with that.
Yeah, it's been rough going for my girl.
I hope it's not the same, but yeah, I mean,
something about Arthur Ferry tells me it won't be the same because one, I see his game transitioning to hard courts perfectly fine enough, whereas Luis Beauchamp maybe not so much, and there is the core of competitor in Arthur Ferry solid by his play in college tennis at Stanford. He's born in France, so he could play. He could have done French citizenship. He looks like he was raised in England, so that's why he has the great bit behind him. But he played college tennis at Stanford. A lot of people, rated him very highly, not just because of his game, but also because of his low-key competitiveness, almost the same as Cam Norrie. Cam Norrie is a little bit more demonstrative, but if you just were kind of walking past a practice court, if you will, of Cam Norrie, it wouldn't necessarily shout out to you that that's a dogged competitor. And Arthur Ferry has a little bit of that himself. He doesn't jump off the screen that he's a guy that's going to fight for every point. But when you watch him long enough, he absolutely is. And he's solid. The serve is sneaky good, moves around the court very well, obviously is comfortable on the grass. So, yeah, I think he has a shot in the match against Cobolli if the moment doesn't overwhelm him.
Yeah, and I think a lot of tennis in general, but I think I see it a lot more on the men's, is separated by mental. Because I think there are a lot of very good players very deep into the rankings in the men's, but I think it's a lot about belief that separates them. And I find the men's ranking, not to divert onto the topic because, is what it is, but I think the men's rankings, I find it's quite a weird thing to kind of compute, right? Because if you think, I think Alex de Minaur is number 5 in the world, I want to say.
He was the 5 seed in Wimbledon, I think, but that's because Carlos wasn't there, and the rankings are.
Maybe he's 5 now in the live rankings.
I think his career high is 5. Yeah.
But either way, he's on something like a third of the points that Jannik Sinner's on, right? And then we're talking about top 10. So it's the separation between the guys below there isn't much. And so I think that you can get a lot of players who were kind of having very big rises up into the 20, 15, maybe 10 of the world. So it's kind of difficult to kind of get an accurate barometer of where everyone's at. I think belief is such a big thing in sports, especially in tennis, because you're out there by yourself. And so if someone like Arthur Ferry has this amazing run and he's like, well, if I did quarterfinals of Grand Slam once, I can do it again and again and again and again. Who knows?
Cobolli has belief too, but he also can shit his pants sometimes, literally and figuratively. So we will see. We'll see what happens in that match. Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's episode, please take a look at the episode description, support the growth of the show by grabbing a coffee from the link, and while you're at it, be sure to engage with Tuned Into Tennis on social networks. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook is where you can find us. Leave a review if you like what you're listening to so far, and let's get back to the show. You mentioned belief. I don't know if you can hear it faintly in the background. And this is my transition to women's tennis because 1, Coco Gauff has belief out of this world. And 2, I'm looking at 2 women that I'm kind of sharing studio space with that I think believe they're the next Taylor Swift, respectfully. Can you hear that? Can you hear
Are they singing?
They're singing, ukuleleing, using some drums. It's very Taylor Swift coded. But it's okay. I just wanted to know if you can hear it, because it's definitely bring your backpack into the studio and try your best day. Anyway, somebody that always tries her best is Miss Coco Gauff. This is where we talk women's singles for a bit before we get out of here. Coco Gauff, and I got to leave with this, sister. I have been in Coco Gauff's camp since she beat Venus in 2019. I've been a seer of the talent, believer of the talent, reacting live and all through the socials about Coco Gauff, defending her when she gets that whole brunt of being a black woman in tennis thing. All of that. I'm Team Coco as a fan, right? all of that said, coming into this Wimbledon, there's no way I would have thought she'd have been a semifinalist. And I think her reaction in winning that quarterfinal against Jessica Pegula also shows that she didn't necessarily believe she'd be a semifinalist. She believes in her game, and I think point in, point out, she's a believer and just a dogged competitor, which I love. But like in the grand scope of Coco Gauff on grass court tennis going into this 2026 Wimbledon, the semifinalist spot with her name on it, I did not see, and I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. She's there for the first time in her career. Now she's a semifinalist at every single major. Everybody can't say that. Everybody doesn't have that to their credit.
Her and Mahova, I think they just kind of added that to their resume, right? They're like one of like
Carolyn and Mahova.
A handful of active players. You and I are on slightly different pages with this argument topic. You are a Coco fan. I'm a big Pegula fan. And
I forgot that. Oh my God.
Huge. So my heart has been broken twice today.
I'm sorry. Wait, why twice? Felix and Pegula? Yeah.
I didn't think Pegula was going to lose this match. Like
me either.
At all. Even when she broke for 3-3, I was like, yeah, she's going to take it. But Pegula is a great competitor. She fights, especially in those 3 sets. She's really good. But if there's one person who I would bet on right now in a 3-set tussle, is Coco Gauff. Yeah. And I think the thing that's so interesting about her is like Coco's game is so not suited to the grass right now. I think it could be like if Sharapova is able to figure out clay, I'm sure that Coco could figure out grass.
Yes.
Because maybe that was literally Bambi. But I think it's nice to see someone figure something out in real time. And it's nice to see somebody still prevailing, even when you know that this is not the complete or final form of this person. And it's also nice to see they're going into a semi-final with a 6-1 head-to-head against their opponent, so they probably should make the final. You and I both know Coco final Wimbledon, semi-final Wimbledon, quarter-final Wimbledon was not on anyone's bingo card this year. But it is also such a big thing, and it can't be said enough. In a world where we don't have Swiatek, in a world where we don't have Sabalenka or Rybakina, Coco Gauff stood firm at what is her weakest Grand Slam.
That's something to be said, for sure. I love it.
Say what you want, haters. Say what you want. She do the thing.
I think it is incredible to see a woman constantly battle through imperfections. And I think that is even more beautiful doing it on grass. There's a woman by the name of Mary Carrillo. I don't know why this piece of her punditry stood out to me, maybe because she said it about Venus and or Serena. But she said athletes win Wimbledon. And if you scan the WTA rankings, they're pound for pound, corner to corner, being able to scrape out shots that nobody else can. Coco Gauff is the athlete on the WTA tour. So in theory, Wimbledon should be where she shines the most. Yeah. It's just that those imperfections in her game technically have held her back. But those legs, that speed, the serve popping and getting in consistently, she is a problem on the surface. And I am so happy that she now has this foundation that she's laid for herself for the rest of her career now, to know that it's possible based on the results here this 2026 Wimbledon. I'm so happy for her. I gotta bite my own foot and say that I didn't see it coming. People were like, why don't you support her? I'm like, I do support Coco, but like I also watch tennis. She came into this tournament losing her last 4 matches on grass. Why would I also take that information to realistically think she would be a Final Four player, But I'm happy that she is. I think tennis is better when Coco Gauff is deeper in the draw. I think there's some people in Poland that would disagree, but okay.
Mary Carrillo is very, very correct. For that reason, my Wimbledon champ is actually in the other half. Because I really feel like Marta Kostyuk had the complete game to win Wimbledon. Like, everyone say what you want about her. I don't care. Her and Coco, I would if
Okay, fair. You put an
I want
athlete.
them to tussle at every time because I just want to see athletic tennis. Like that's all I want to see. I want to see people running left and right, up and down. And pound for pound, I feel like the only one who can match her remotely in athleticism
is Marta Kostyuk.
So
Fair.
I think that Carrillo is if she knows what she's talking about, then that could be our final.
I think it's because back in the day, like the surface has mellowed out a little bit, but back in the day, you used to get bad bounces. It just was the most. You had to have the reactions of a cat to do well at Wimbledon, which the Williams sisters, Venus did, Serena did, Roger Federer was very, very smooth with his reactions. Rafa Nadal obviously is an athlete. Even Novak Djokovic, we don't like him, but a hell of an athlete. He's won 7 Wimbledons, right? You have to be athletic to do your big one at Wimbledon. I agree. Marta Kostyuk, if I'm going pound for pound, if I want to see Coco tested at the ability to get to every ball around the court and make this feel like this is a level of tennis I'm never going to be able to touch because I'm not that athletic and smooth on my feet. It's going to be a Marta Kostyuk versus Coco Gauff match. It's just that Marta Kostyuk has to get there now because Kostyuk plays Mertens, I believe, in the quarters. No. The bottom half is Noskova, Mertens, Kostyuk. Who is the last person?
Paulini.
Oh, sorry, Paulini. Oh, and it's Paulini that plays. It's Paulini that plays Kostyuk on tomorrow, literally Wednesday. Yeah. Paulini versus Kostyuk, and then Noskova versus Mertens. I know this was like the Coco Gauff section, but yeah.
I mean, we talk about Coco like not being likely to make any run at Wimbledon, but let's be real. Paulini was the one that nobody saw doing anything at this Wimbledon.
She lost her first set at the tournament 6-love to Robin Montgomery. Yes. Shout out to Robin Montgomery, by the way. I see you, girl. I wish you'd have won that match, but I'm not mad at Paulini because Paulini does something similar to who she beat in the 4th round, Alex Ayala. They have a way of emanating. This is not tactical breakdown. This is just sports fan watching athlete. They have a way. Are you sure you can't hear that singing? Because she is trying her best Taylor Swift.
I heard one note just now.
You did? Okay.
Just one.
Okay. Because my God. Respect to her. I hope she gets signed one day. Anywho, where was I? Paulini and Ayala evoke joy when they play. Paulini, when she had her 2024 finalist of Roland Garros, finalist of Wimbledon, there were people that were like, oh, this is the state of the WGA Tour. They're letting anybody get to the finals. Yeah, I see your argument. I don't agree, but that's a testament more to the depth of women's tennis. However, Paulini backed that up with a really solid 2025, just this 2026. Has been rough going, and she, I think, has lost some of that joy that she kind of brought to the court, but her game isn't necessarily all the way there, but I think the joy and kind of like happiness that she just kind of effectively always has is there. And I think that is going to bring her further than any kind of like X's and O's or tactics or intangibles can in tennis. I think if she's happy out there, she's going to be a tough out. And I think Kostyuk is going to have her hands full if a confident and happy Paulini shows up, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I like Paulini. She gets shit on so much on the internet because people don't understand how she's a top player. I get it. Low center of gravity, remarkably more power than you might think. A serve that she can place very well, and a good competitor. Like you put all that together. You got a tough out week in, week out if they're bringing all of that to the court. The only thing is she just hasn't the last 6 months or so, you know?
Look, I think with Paulini, and then it's kind of similar a little bit to Pegula. Obviously, Pegula's got, her background and financial wealth on added on to it. But I think like tennis, they really have an issue with people who are a little bit older doing well. It's like if you're not 18, right. Right. If you're not 18 breaking through, it's like they don't want to hear it. And I'm like, guys, not everybody's mirror.
Andreeva, yeah.
Everybody know. Like everybody is so fixated on age. Yeah, Capriati, damn. But it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think, yeah, I'm happy for her. I still want Martin to win because I
No, I
really
get it.
want that semi-final to be
Yeah.
with Noskova because she, low key, has been playing the best tennis on WTA Tour since they got to grass. That lady has been
Noskova
like,
did win Berlin. She beat Pagula in the final. She was burnt out the next week, and she probably shouldn't have played that tournament, so she went out pretty meekly. But Noskova, she's taken out Sorana Cirstea, who's been a very informed player, and that was 7-6 in the third, and she straight set at Madison Keys. Everybody else has kind of been quick work, and Noskova has that Czech blood background, who we know has been very successful at Wimbledon. We talking two-time champ Kvitova, Vondrousova, Krejcikova. I think Navratilova's home country is Czech
Republic.
Czech Republic. So yeah, they have a long lineage. Oh, Novotna. Yeah, the list can kind of keep going of Czech female success at Wimbledon, and she's right there in that lane. I don't think it would be a fluke if she won it. I mean, she literally is a top 10 player. She has won a grass court title. That grass court title thing does bother me or worry me a little bit because there hasn't been a woman, I don't think, since Sharapova to win a grass court lead up and win Wimbledon. Some kind of puppet strings are being pulled to stop that from happening. But if there's going to be somebody to break it and break that, that tradition or that curse rather, it'll be Noskova the way she's playing, especially now that, respectfully, she has Elisa Mertens across the net from her. Elisa Mertens, this is my time where I respectfully really do tip my cap at Mertens' career because she puts in here you go. She puts in the long hours. She's a consummate professional. There's never a match I've seen her play where she kind of just, tacks it on in and I'll go next week. She wants to win every single match she plays. Does she? No, because there is a certain ceiling to her gifts on the court. But when she's playing well and some things kind of fall her way, like playing Marie Buskova respectfully for a shot at your
Damn, Myles. Okay, wow.
She won a grass court title with 250 in Birmingham, I believe, the week before Wimbledon. So she was on a burner, if you will. But yes, Mertens, shut up. Mertens is somebody, if you want to show somebody how to be a consummate tennis professional at WTA, Mertens should be somebody that you kind of slide the file up because she's good in singles, she's good in doubles, she's good in mixed. She's been world number 1 in doubles. She's won slams in doubles. She's been deep in singles Grand Slams draws. This is her first Grand Slam quarterfinal since 2020, I believe. But she's been a semifinalist at the Australian Open, a 2-time quarterfinalist at the US Open, and now a quarterfinalist at Wimbledon. It's not, she hasn't had by any stretch of the imagination a laughable career. It's just that on the internet and some other tennis spaces, if you're looking to kind of create a kind draw for a player, Mertens is a name you throw out there, respectfully. That's just kind of what it is. Because she doesn't have anything that jumps off of the screen when you play her. But I bet tennis players, actual pros, rate her very high. She's a pro's pro, sneaky good all the time,
Yeah, probably. Thank you. That was a beautiful TED talk. However, I need Noskova to go forehand, backhand, back, serve, back, straight sets. Let's go. That's what I need. Because if there is a world in which we let Elise Mertens make it to semifinals and a final, and then she just so happens to win the Grand Slam,
you think it's bad for tennis?
I think it's terrible.
Oh, yikes.
I think it's great for the tennis community. I think that, everyone's going to be like, wow, that's such a nice story. But I think it's terrible. I genuinely do. If we're considering the fact that, Maya Schwalinska, that was a great story. But, that's her first round loss, although she was injured. Cool, I'll give her that. But, Mira, second or third round loss, I don't know what it was. I'm not saying that, which is, respectful. Yes, but I'm not saying that we need everybody to, be finding at every tournament. But Wimbledon has had so many different winners
this year is going to be the 10th in a row.
I can't be adding Elise Mertens to that list. I want to add someone to the list who either hasn't won Wimbledon before but is already a Grand Slam champ, or is someone who potentially could win more than one. That's what I would like to see.
And
especially
you feel like that's Kostyuk or Noskova from that bottom half. Maybe Pauline, because Pauline's made 2 finals.
Yeah, I think it's more likely Kostyuk or Noskova from the bottom half. I do think that actually the one that people want is Muchova. I think everyone's been talking about this lady for years, and everyone's like, oh, this lady can't do no wrong. This lady's amazing. She's the second coming of you know what now. Look at her. Wow. She wears T-shirts and long sleeve. That's amazing. Wow. She has the perfect game for Gauff. She does. Like,
yeah, I agree.
When you watch her play, you're like, okay, well, that makes sense. And I feel like kind of similar to the German guy, I need this to happen so that we can stop talking about them as the greatest to never have won something or the person that they think can do it. But I think for tennis, the tennis community, for the online community, everyone wants Muchova to win that. Let's be real. The majority would say
win the whole tournament.
Yeah, I think that the majority would say her over Coco Gauff for sure, because
not my algorithm. Not my algorithm.
No, not our algorithm, because our algorithm be like Alicia Fox. But I think that you know Chris Yevett is sitting in our house like, come on, Carolina, let's go. You know that. Martina Navratilova in our house. Yes.
Got you. Okay.
In a similar way, how everybody was so happy for Ash Barty to be there, and
But she slices.
She slices and she comes forward and she's like Federer, and it's like actually she's just
how it's supposed to be. That has been my qualm with Muchova up until this season. I didn't like how she got all of the people rubbed her back very nicely and said she plays tennis how it's supposed to be played, and she's aesthetically pleasing, which she is. I won't argue that she's not. It's just up until this season, Mama had one WTA 250 title from 2019. So you're telling me that she plays tennis the way it's supposed to be played, but that trophy cabinet, that it was lopsided, and I don't think trophy cabinets are everything, but there's something.
Right. But the way that tennis is supposed to be played is it's supposed to be won.
You're supposed to be the last person holding the trophy.
Right. But I don't know.
To her credit, she does have a 1,000, and she beat Mboka in the final in Doha. I mean, as far as 1,000s go, Doha is the one that, but she gets a 1,000 nonetheless. And there's a small asterisk next to it, but she just won the title in where was that? Bad Homburg, the WTA 500 the week before Wimbledon. So she's on a little win streak of her own. So because Osaka retired. Osaka retired in the final.
Yeah, with that plantar fasciitis.
She didn't complete the match. So there's a small asterisk, but that's her trophy nonetheless. She brought home that elephant of a trophy. So I wouldn't necessarily be upset. It literally is an elephant of a trophy. It literally is.
Yeah. I can't believe we actually haven't even spoken about Osaka.
Oh, you're right.
And we're going here for a minute.
To wrap up the Muchova thing, what kept me not completely being a hater was the fact that she has some of the best eyebrows I've ever seen on tour. I always say this because she really does have tremendous eyebrows. And now that she has 2 legitimate trophies underneath her cabinet or underneath her belt, I'm fine with her being a Grand Slam champion now. It doesn't feel like over excessive glaze. I just want Coco to beat her in that semifinal. That's what I want. So that's
I will say, Muchova, similarly to someone like Madison Keys, if they finish their career with 1 Grand Slam, I think it would make sense. I think that there is a great amount of talent there. So it's like, she won that Grand Slam that one time is nice, and I did think it makes sense. But as of today, no. I need Coco to make it 7-1, and I need Coco to play someone who's either going to tussle with her side to side athletically, or he's going to whop, and we see what happens. I can't. Elise Mertens, no. Muchova, no.
So you don't want a Mertens Muchova final.
I will literally not watch it. And watch it happen now. It's going to happen, right? Yeah.
Well, we know it won't be Naomi Osaka in the final, unfortunately. And I hate to introduce it on that sour note because Muchova is who took out Naomi Osaka in the quarterfinals. But I know we entered on a sour note here, but that was some of the best tennis Naomi has played. Yeah. Arguably, people want to say, since she's come back from pregnancy, I would argue that's been some of the best tennis she's played in her career, full stop. In that third round match against Daria Kasatkina and that fourth round match, which she finally took out Aryna Sabalenka for the first time since 2018, those were the best 4 sets I've seen her play in years. Baby or no baby.
I didn't get to watch the match today with Mahova. It felt like a kind of disappointing letdown.
Yes,
it felt like that.
Yes,
but
just
the way she played against Aryna, bro. Like a lot has been said about Aryna. Is she on decline? Blah 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 blah. All that kind of stuff. No, she's still number one. So it is what it is. But Naomi overpowered her, as you said. Like she
you didn't hear that note?
Good. No, I didn't hear it.
Good, thank God.
You thought I went silent because of the singing?
Yes, I thought you were like, oh my God, they're really singing up in here.
Wow. No, Naomi really she held that racket and she just swung. And it was so nice to see. And I think that the big takeaway for me with how I've seen Naomi play through the clay and through the grass is that when she gets on the hard court and she's that 5 to 7% better because she's a little bit more comfortable, she could beat anybody. Whether she could beat seven people back to back, that's another question. But she can beat anybody. That's what that told me.
I think the loss against Muchova, it is sour because she, like we've said, we've seen her play the best tennis, particularly on this surface. But Muchova is somebody that has literally given her problems in her career. She's beaten her at the U.S. Open. She's tested her in Australia. She literally took the first set off of her in Bad Hamburg. So, Muchova is kind of the style of player that has always given Osaka some trouble. A player that can mix it up, bring some variety. Not to say that Naomi is not athletic, but kind of compete in a more athletic way and cover the court better and smoother than Naomi is what Muchova does. So that matchup, fine. Tip your hat. Tip your hat. It's a tough one for Osaka to get over on any surface or any day. Yeah. But the fact that she leaves this summer natural swing with the best results she's ever had at Roland Garros and Wimbledon means something to me. This means something to me because I'm not going to hold you. And she's not necessarily 1 or 2 performances away from me getting back to this thought process. I wasn't sure that we see a Naomi Osaka that could rival the Osaka that played from 2018 to 2021, winning 4 slams winning 4 slams through that period. I was questioning it. I started to believe last summer from the Canada to U.S. Open run, but that loss to Mboko made me worried because of the mental kind of breakdown. The way she was kind of out hit a little bit against Anisimova made me worried that there are people that are kind of, hanging with her from the ground. But I'm starting to believe again, and I think, why are you laughing at that part? You laughing at Anisimova?
I need to find the text message that you sent me about Anisimova. It kind of sent me. I was laughing.
A long time ago? Or recently?
No, it was just for the tournament start. I don't know whether you texted to me or you had or it was an ex. But you were just like, yeah, Anisimova, when she loses all them damn points and she tumbles down.
I was like, I don't think I've talked about her in this whole entire. Yes, I have, because I was interested to see how her match looked against Madison Keys, which she lost.
You were like she ain't gonna do nothing.
Her ranking is taking a tumble after this Wimbledon loss in the 4th round. Because she made the final last year, and she has a U.S. Open final to defend, and she has a 1,000 to defend in China after that. So if Mama don't get it together, that ranking will be in scary neighborhoods.
Because she's a 7 right now.
Not in the live ranking.
She's a 7 in the live rankings.
It's going to have to adjust after Wimbledon, I think.
No, it's literally right now as things stand. She's 7.
Okay.
If Svitolina had won 1 match, she would have been 8. And if Muchova makes the semi, she would drop down because Muchova will go up to 6. So she's already kind of taken a tumble, like low-key.
Not a tumble. Just to bring it back to Osaka, I think that actually I want to pose this question to you about Osaka because I'm kind of posing it to myself. Do you think Naomi Osaka has another Grand Slam title in her?
Yes.
You think the hard courts are her best shot, right?
I think she has a great shot at Australia in 2027.
I think she just needs to win a title first. Has she won a title since? I don't think she has. She? I know she made the finals of the 250 the week before Australia last year. She made the finals of Bad Homburg this year, the week before Wimbledon. But I don't think she's actually won a WTA level title since the 2021 Australian Open.
I know she won a 125.
Yes, that counts, and it's not nothing, but the main WTA tour, not challenger level, I do think she kind of needs to get a trophy in her cabinet at any of the 250, 500, 1,000 levels. That'll be a lot and be meaningful. And might be a missing piece in the Osaka gets another Grand Slam title. Because she surges. She's a girl that when she wins, she kind of keeps winning, especially if the draw is kind of, a little kind to her, or she's not playing too many Muhova or Sigmunds or, those kind of chopping, slice and dice players. I want to believe because I think tennis is so much of a better product when Naomi Osaka's in it. You can listen to this and push back all you want and say that she is a crybaby and she is this, that, and the third, which you may have some merit in. There may be some truth in that. But just the way that she came onto the court every time she played at Wimbledon, I mean, she literally, Tennis Channel, the official Tennis Channel, had their highest performing reel by Naomi Osaka unveiling her Wimbledon outfit. Their highest performing reel. Just by Naomi coming on to the court in her kimono style outfit. She is good for tennis, period. With everything that she comes with. When she is the light that came through her face and her body after she beat Sabalenka, and even when she beat Kasatkina the round before that, she had never won a match on court one. She has struggled at these natural Grand Slams at Roland Garros and Wimbledon, and she leaves with both of them going the furthest she's ever gone. She tested Sabalenka at Roland Garros. She beat her at Wimbledon. I hope she really looks back at this European swing like, maybe I didn't leave with a trophy, but I'm leaving playing some of the best tennis I've played in years. And I hope that carries her to some momentum in New York or in Australia at the beginning of 2027. Because, man, Naomi, there are players that can hang with her from the baseline, shot for shot, more than they ever have. But it's just something about the way Naomi Osaka does it. She's special. She's special, and I think that's what makes her the athlete that she is. She's not stereotypical by almost any stretch of the imagination, and she's impactful.
It's crazy. It's crazy because you think like if we're gonna like we celebrate Coco for being an athlete, for just doing the things that a sports person or an athlete should do. And when you really break it down, I don't really feel like Naomi does a lot of those things. I wouldn't say that she has like the best hands. I wouldn't say she's the quickest. I wouldn't say she's got the best reflexes. There's a lot. I don't think she's always the most balanced, but she does a lot of things really, really damn well. And a lot of people talk about, when Jannik Sinner hits the ball, the sound that comes with the racket. When I hear Naomi Osaka serve, there's a sound. When I hear her hit a forehand, there's a sound. And yes, I'm rooting for everybody black, but I'm rooting for everybody good for the game. And I think that Osaka is incredible for the game. There's only one lady on this earth that I think has more reach in this sport than her.
Is she active? Or is she retired?
She's somewhere in between right now. I guess we'll figure that out by the time the US Open comes back around and see which evolution the Pokemon is that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, she's everything that the game needs. Like if she was to retire now, that would be a big loss.
Yeah.
It has been nice hearing her talk more openly about her mental state towards the game, because I didn't enjoy seeing her struggle. But it's nice seeing her not have so much pressure on her shoulders.
From herself too, like not from other people, but from herself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice in a world where Big Sab is stressed the hell out every day.
Yeah.
It's nice that we have Naomi Osaka right now. So,
Naomi, we're rooting for you. Congratulations on your first Wimbledon quarterfinal, and good luck in the hardcourt swing. There are tons of people pulling for you for sure, my girl. You mentioned,
did you know that there's only 3 Black women on tour that have made the second round of each of the 3 first Grand Slams of the year?
Naomi, Coco, and
Alicia Parks.
I knew you were going to say Alicia Parks.
I need Alicia to win a Grand Slam. That's what I need.
Where'd you see that stat? Who pulled that? You put it yourself?
No, she did. That just came out of my brain, but I think she did win.
She won a round in Australia. She beat Iala. She won a round in French. She won a round at Wimbledon.
There you go. She's in great company. She could be top 10.
I am not. Alicia, sorry that you get the brunt of our jokes sometimes, but we really are rooting for you, just in case it ever gets to you. We really are. We see the game.
Big time, Alicia. We are really rooting for you, sis.
Somebody else I think we're rooting for before we've been talking and it's going over for. I mean, I know it's late on your side of the world. I teased this at the very top of the show about the Williams sisters playing doubles and not playing doubles. Turns out there was no doubles for the Williams sisters because, unfortunately, Serena Williams injured her right knee in her first round match against Maya Joint. She was able to finish that match, but the next couple of days trying to rehab it, literally syringing out fluid, as she showed on her Instagram, made it a no-go for her to play any more tennis, and she pulled out of the tournament, which means obviously no doubles with the Williams sisters. So that's unfortunate because they were supposed to play on 4th of July. That'd have been cool, you know, the American-ness of it all, I guess. But I'm interested, what are your thoughts about Williams sisters playing tennis in the year 2026? Because Serena did say, as she always does, and Venus does to a certain extent, they leave us on cliffhangers. Serena said in her Instagram caption, you know, be on the lookout at a city near you. It's not necessarily done. I'm not sure where she's going to come back and play more tennis, if it's going to be singles, if it's going to be doubles. But how do you go into matches that feature Venus or Serena currently, knowing what we know, where they are in their lives as mid-40-something-year-old women? How do you go into their matches?
I go into them with the expectation of just being able to watch the people who inspired me to pick up a racket.
Very fair.
And I go into the matches understanding the impact that they have for the sport, that they will always have for the sport. I don't go in thinking that Serena's going to win Wimbledon.
Right.
I did go in thinking that she was going to beat Maya Joint, though. But and I was really, really looking forward to her against Iala, just impact wise. I was really looking forward to that. I think that this is like a big plot to facilitate Venus's retirement. I do. I also was a bit upset. I'll be real with you that Venus didn't get the singles wildcard this year. I know that there are a lot of people who are upset about all those things, whatever. I don't think Venus will play singles again at Wimbledon ever. And I think it would have been nice for her to have that. But she did say something kind of interesting, because I think one of the reporters said something to her along the lines of that, oh, you didn't know about Serena coming back. And Venus is like, of course I fucking knew. That's my damn sister. Like, come on.
It's my
be serious. But she said something along the lines of she knows when to stay quiet because it's not her story to tell. Which in poetic language to me meant she will tell her own story at a later point when it's her time to tell her story. But I just would like for whatever that story is for them to go out on their own terms. Like, I would hate for it to be like, hey, this is my last ever tournament at the US Open, and she don't get to play the doubles match because of Serena's knee or because of her knee or something. I just want them to go out on their terms, whatever that may look like to them.
I hear that, and I want that too. I just am in an interesting spot. And let me preface this by, I shouldn't have to say this, but if you're listening to this and you listen to Tune to Tennis, you know the affection I have for Venus and Serena Williams. It is deep. It is long running. It is always going to be there. So let me just preface that by saying that. I just struggle with the idea that there's going to be a healthy and on their terms kind of send off for both of them. I think the closest we have seen to that so far is Serena at the 2022 US Open. She was competing well. The last win she had was over the then ranked world number 2 player, which is incredible. And she lost a 3-set match to a player that went on to reach the quarterfinals, and Aya Tomljanovic, and has had a pretty solid top 40 career, right? Please stop making that face. Please stop making that face.
I love Ida. I'm never not coming to life that lady so much.
Ida is cute. I do. Isla's wonderful. She really is. I just didn't like her on that day.
No.
And then Venus has had a career in the last couple of years that has honestly, as impactful as she is, and she's literally one of my favorite throwback watches on YouTube. Like, I think if I did the search, YouTube will say, you love a Venus Williams match. But for the last 6 years, it's been a tough watch because I feel like I'm watching a gingerly version of her. And I don't think that is fun necessarily. And I don't want to see them play tennis with one half of my heart worried that if they take one step, it's going to have them out for another 6 months, and then we do the whole thing over again. I want to go out on my terms. So sometimes when I see that they have these injuries, I'm like, yeah, that's not fun, but it is also a realistic part of being a professional athlete, especially trying to perform at the elite level over 40. It's just they are super women and have accomplished so much and have the status symbol of superheroes. Yes, they do, but they are ultimately human beings that breathe and bleed just like us. So sometimes I just think it is a weird plank to walk as far as wanting to see them have this poetic kind of send off, especially in doubles. I think it's possible, but I also struggle to watch both of them compete in singles, if I'm honest. I do go into it with just the beauty of them being able to do what they want to do, which is compete and play tennis, but you have to factor in where they're doing it. They're doing it against players who are sometimes 20 plus years younger than them and are asking these questions of, can you go side to side and get the ball? Because I want to win this match too. And a lot of times, especially on Venus's case, that answer has been no, and it has been scary to watch. Have they been competitive matches? Yes. We just saw Serena at 44 years old give a 20-year-old all she could handle, and that 20-year-old lost the next match, right? So is it competitive? Yes. But is it sustainable? No. And I do think sustainability is something you have to factor in if you're going to be literally on the tour. Also, and have they earned the right to kind of come back and play here, there, wherever they want to? Absolutely, because they're going to get a wild card every stop that they want. It's just about finding the balance of being content. Because realistically, are they going to win any more big titles? No. And that is what has made part of the reason that has made them so impactful, because yes, they represent a minority and they broke barriers, and also they were damn good champions. They have records that are going to, Serena especially, that are going to, probably never get touched. Venus is a 5-time Wimbledon champion. She's a multiple-time gold medalist. Everybody does not have that to their credit. So the resume is solid. The impact is solid. What else are we trying to do here? You know what I mean? That part of my brain is kind of So,
I think I actually
some people can like take all of that as like me being down on them or being disrespectful to the legacy. It's not none of that. I just want them to kind of be content, especially now that they're 40, mid 40s plus, are both married. They have their own families in their own right. So just like I want to see what it looks like to just have Venus and Serena. I'll put a bow on it like this. The same way we have seen Roger Federer walk through the All England Club looking like there's not a problem in the world, like, and being happily and contently retired, I want that for Venus and Serena. They deserve that same contentment. Like, yeah, I am one of the best female tennis players to ever pick up a racket. I know that, you know that, and I can walk through life the rest of my 56 years, however many I'm left to have on this earth, and everybody's gonna know that, and I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, the whole like, are they coming back, not coming back thing? It is fun. It is fun, and like it gets the girls going. But I also am thinking like, you know, this is a sport. And the other girl across the net, she may be overawed in the moment, but she also wants to walk to the net as a winner too. Or the doubles team across the net, they want to win. And how sustainable is all of this? That's kind of where I want to leave it. You know, It makes me wonder. Why?
I just need them to make a plan and say, right, we're gonna go out together like this, and we could. It does feel sometimes like I'm watching them kind of do exhibition matches, and I know that sounds horrible to say, but I just kind of wish that if we're gonna do it, let's just be like, okay, cool, we're gonna retire here, and we're doing this together, and we're gonna just do that thing. Yeah. Because there's been some tough losses, man.
Yeah.
And like watching Venus play doubles with everybody and their cousin is stressing me out. So I just need them to, like, when I watched her play doubles with Svitolina, I was like,
when they play doubles, Svitolina, was it in like Auckland or something?
It was somewhere random. At least when Serena played doubles with Caroline Wozniacki, I was like, okay, they're friends, right? Yeah. So I'm like, Svitolina.
And then Venus has this weird little thing where the players she wants to play with at slams get injured. Haley Baptiste got injured before they could play doubles. Serena got injured.
That still breaks my heart, man. And Vicky Mboko is out. She can't defend Toronto now.
Yeah, Victoria Mboko and Haley Baptiste on the sidelines with some knee health struggles. So we're wishing them prayers and good luck. I did see some video footage of Haley Baptiste kind of doing the whole sitting down on the court but still hitting forehands thing. So she's getting to get back out there. Huh? Yeah, the throwback Sloane Stephens in a boot thing. But yeah, Victoria Mboko and Haley Baptiste are still like sub 24, both of them. So there's years ahead of them, hopefully, prayerfully, where they can kind of, you know, get back on the other side of the mend. But yeah, but those are examples of just how quick things can change, and you can go from healthy to on crutches the next day. And I don't want to see Venus and Serena have to go through that on a tennis court.
No, could you imagine if that's like the loss and legacy of one of their careers is like on a wheelchair taken off the court? Oh my goodness.
And it's been close so many times. Serena at 2021, Venus at Wimbledon when she fell. They have been pushing the parameters of getting seriously injured, and I don't want to see that. I love them too much, and they deserve to walk around in their finest Givenchy and everything else, just like Roger Federer does, and everybody else that's retired and made a huge name for themselves. You know, it's about time we start getting Williams sisters trophies and statues and courts named after them and their ascent into the Hall of Fame. And that can't happen until they stop playing. You know what I mean? I want them to get all of those post-career flowers like everybody else gets, and you can't get that if you're still kind of halfway in, halfway out. So that's like my piece on the Venus and Serena of all. They're always going to be impactful. I'm going to always have a Serena Williams fans or a Venus Williams fans YouTube account video pulled up because they're just that impactful.
No Sabina Sicki fan?
Sabina Sicki fans gets a watch out of me too. They do.
That trying to gives me a good chuckle. But I do want to ask you before we go.
What's up?
Who's going to win Wimbledon?
Who's going to win Wimbledon on the women's side, since that's where we currently are? I am going to go. I'm gonna say the final is going to be Coco Gauff versus Marta Kostyuk.
Okay.
I think that's best case scenario what we have now. I think that'll be fun. It'll be appointment viewing, and may the best woman win. And I want it to be Coco, but if Kostyuk wins, I won't be crying tears. She will, but
she will.
She will definitely be. Both of them, I think, will be crying. If whoever wins Wimbledon from this point forward is going to be crying for sure. So yeah, Coco is my pick for the women's side, and I think on this side, on the men's side, I got to go Jannik Sinner. Like, he has the pedigree, he has the experience, the power, the momentum now after winning 4 matches without dropping a set. He's going to face a 39-year-old, 5+ hours underneath his belt, Novak Djokovic. It's Jannik Sinner. And on the other side of the court from him in the final is going to be either Zverev or Fritz, maybe Kaboli. All 3 of those names in a best-of-5 match, barring injury, Jannik Sinner's winning, I think. Unless it is a scorcher, like y'all say, or something like that, and he just can't get it together.
Was that British people saying scorcher?
Is that what they say? Is that what y'all say?
Definitely Australians. But it's cool.
Sorry. Yikes.
It's cool.
What do y'all say? How do y'all describe the heat?
We don't have heat, so we don't have a word for it.
Y'all don't have air conditioning either.
We don't have AC. No, anything above Celsius, but anything above 23, 24 over here is considered a heat wave. So we just wow, that's hot. And we'll leave it at that.
So who are you picking to win Wimbledon from this point forward on Tuesday, July 2nd?
I believe Jannik Sinner will win Wimbledon, and I believe that he will play Flavio Cobolli in the final. Because I think Cobolli will beat Fritz in the semi. And I believe that on the women's side, I think that Linda Noskova is going to win Wimbledon.
Okay. Who does she face in the final? Coco or Muchova?
Coco Gauff.
I don't want Coco to lose in the more finals.
I know, but I think Noskova will. Sadly,
I don't think it's sad if she wins.
I'm not certain on this pick, but I just seen Noskova just kind of just mopping and whopping and bopping this tennis ball around too much. And I think Coco has been playing great, but it's been real gritty matches. And I don't know if she's going to get that out of Noskova. I think she's a little bit too solid right now.
If Noskova plays buttoned up in the same kind of grass court tennis that she's been playing to get her that Berlin title and get her into the quarters.
Beating her right now.
Yeah, she's that locked in and her game does that much damage. But you never know what can happen on center court when the nerves get involved.
You don't. But I've just seen Noskova beat Swiatek and players of that ilk way too many times. And just be head down, I'm going to do the thing. And also, she does work in Africa. So, she's honorary for the black people. So,
what kind of work she does in Africa?
You see the picture of Noskova with the little, with the, what do they call them? With the kids in Africa.
That has not come across my algorithm.
No, okay.
I do know that she has a septum piercing, though, and I do appreciate that.
Okay.
She does. I think that's cool. And she has that. She has a very deep, raspy voice that I think is very attractive on a woman. So I like it. She's cool by my book. She just isn't going to necessarily if it's Noskova, if it's Noskova versus Coco Gauff, I think that'll be a highly watched Wimbledon final on ESPN here in the States, because that Serena versus Joint match broke records. It was very highly watched. If Coco reaches the final, whoever her opponent is across the net is going to be a highly watched match, I think. It's just that if Noskova wins it doesn't. She's not yet a needle pusher, and I don't know if she ever will be, because she has an understated kind of aura about her. But I think that's fine. I think understated auras work as long as there are overstated auras around them. And a Coco Gauff versus Noskova match has that kind of aura balance to it. But a Muchova and Noskova match, not so much. So
but I want to go
getting to the
cost
final is
That's
not.
what I
Is
really
not.
want.
You said what?
I want to go. Okay, here's what I say.
Okay.
If it's Gauff versus Noskova, Noskova wins. If it's Gauff versus Kostyuk, Gauff wins.
Fair. I'm with that.
That's my answer.
What if Kaboli wins this whole thing?
I wouldn't be too mad, you know.
Fair.
Why not? At this point, I wouldn't be too mad.
Would you rather Djokovic win his 25th Grand Slam title?
I would rather Djokovic win it than the German, yes.
Or Zverev win his second?
Djokovic.
What if Arthur Ferry goes all the way? That's not possible? He's probably not being Jannik Sinner, but he could get to the final.
If Arthur Ferry makes it to the final and loses to Sinner, that could happen. I could see that happen. No.
Fritz said he's very good.
Fritz wouldn't let that happen.
Fritz said that Arthur Ferry played like a practice session against him before, I think, the ATP finals one year, and Ferry was cooking him. I know that's practice, but you never know. The Brits obviously are going to want to see it. And then on top of that, how would you feel if Fritz won the whole thing? I know ESPN, like the how do I put this?
Yeah.
The the red hats of it all would love if Taylor Fritz is the first American man since Andy Roddick to win a slam. I just also kind of similar-ish to what I said about Noskova. It'll get pushed. It'll get pushed, but it's not going to push the needle. No. Like no one's going to be like, "Oh my God, Mom, I want that same racket that Taylor Fritz has." Like,
no. This is where Ben Shelton really messed up.
Yeah,
because this was his time.
Yeah. What can you do? Yeah, he did. Because that whole thing with Arthur Ferry is Ben Shelton's section. Yeah.
Yes. If Fritz was to win it, I actually would be a lot less upset than I would be if other people won it.
Fair. You take Fritz winning it over Djokovic's 25th and Zverev second.
Yes.
Fair enough. I would too.
But I take Kaboli over everybody else.
Fair. And then Sinner is somewhere in there. It'll just be another notch in his belt.
It would just be another one, you know.
Well, this has been another conversation of Myles with a Y and Myles with an I. Mr. Anthony Daly, please let everybody know what you're working on. I know you are the uber talented thespian, so let everybody know what you're working on and what you got coming through the pipeline over there across the pond.
Well, I took a little diversion away from tennis, a big diversion away from tennis, actually. So I'm no longer coaching as things stand, but I'm doing the world premiere of the Shaka Khan musical.
Oh, we love Shaka Khan.
We love Shaka Khan in the UK. She's actually coming here in August to watch it, which would be cool. But yeah, I'm doing the world premiere of it, so it's never been done before. The show's called I'm Every Woman. I get to play her husband. I also get to play Prince, which is pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, hopefully that will make its way over to Broadway at some point.
And you've also played a role in the Tina Turner musical too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're just racking up the R&B and soul goats, aren't you?
Basically.
I love that.
Yeah. A black show, you put me in that black show. Mm-hmm.
I know that's right. You can sing, dance, and do everything in between and talk tennis. We love to see it. Let everybody know where they can follow you on socials and online.
Yes, you can follow me at Mile High World. It should be down here somewhere. Or you can just type my name, Myles Anthony Daly. You might find some weird stuff on the internet, but you know.
Not too weird. Not like OnlyFans feet stuff, huh? Not that, right?
You know, I don't want to talk about that right now. That's behind me.
While you're on the internet,
listen, I look forward to it.
What'd you say? What did you say?
I said I look forward to doing this with you this time next year.
Absolutely. Maybe before then. I just like having some British flavor during Wimbledon. It's nice to hear Brit's voice. For sure.
I would love to. I'd love to come back in around the US Open. That'd be pretty cool.
Okay. We'll work on it. Until then, guys, this has been Tuned Into Tennis. Make sure you are following Tuned Into Tennis across all socials. We're a couple hundred followers away from 6K on Instagram, so help us get there. We are inching every bit closer to 2K subscribers on YouTube, so help us get us there. And then also on Twitter and Thread, you can hear me or see me typing and building community or AKA talking shit there as well. So If you like this episode, I know it's a bit of a long one. If you've gotten all the way through, make sure you leave a review and a rating, 5 stars if you can. That's always great. It pushes our show out to the algorithms, which are king these days. So yeah, I appreciate you tuning into me or tuning into us. Miles Squared is the name of our band moving forward. And we will take this band on the road another different time, okay? Until then, have fun watching Wimbledon. I will talk to you guys soon. Take care, and thanks again for listening /watching. Bye, everybody.